Hey everyone, I am so glad to have you here with me today. Today I have a guest, Tracy. Tracy's business is called Tourcy, and I brought her on today to talk about a very specific niche within the concierge industry that she is involved in and that she is passionate about. Because a lot of times people come into the industry and they're trying to figure out like what do they want to do within the industry and the concierge industry in general. Some people like to run errands, some people want to do organizing, others want to work with people who are aging in place. But there are a lot of other variety of niches that are available and out there. And I think it usually pairs well with like what your unique loves and passions are in your life that you can kind of combine into your business. And I'm actually going to put a link to a video right here that you can also watch where I've talked about 10 different niches within the industry that you can consider for your business. Okay, so Tracy, so first tell me, what is the name of your business?
It's Tourcy, which is a compilation of tours by Tracy.
And
That's
so
correct.
your niche within the industry in general is travel. You do travel, correct?
That is correct.
But you don't do just travel, all the different travels. You have a sub niche within travel. And what is that sub niche?
Guided group tours.
All
So
right.
a group of travelers connecting with a tour manager and having the tour components pulled together for people interested in a particular location.
What does guided group travel mean specifically?
At its most simplest level, it is a group of people traveling together on an itinerary to a destination, mostly all inclusive, the sites, the transportation, all of the things that you need to experience when you're in an area. So groups can be a variety of sizes, of interests, and destinations.
What is like one of your favorite trips to plan?
Well, my favorite trips to plan are family trips when the group is a family or a mixture of family and friends. I also partner with local nonprofits who want to have a community program of travel. So they work through me. We select a destination, they promote it and have goodwill throughout the community. And Torsey takes care of all of the details, the reservations, the air upgrades, all of those details that go into making the trip perfect for their group.
What are some of the, so I've shared with the members of my community before, booking travel is one of my least favorite things to do. And even as like a general concierge, and I had a variety of clients and even, my busy executives, sometimes they would ask me to like book things. And I was like, that is not my skill set. The level of detail that goes into booking travel, it gives me agita and it gives me a
Yes.
headache. It is so, so tedious. So when you're booking travel for people, so you're doing a destination, and I think I went on your website actually, and we're going to put a link to Tracy's website below in the description of this video so that you can see some of the amazing tours that she has planned in 2024. And I know you have things planned in 2025 as well. Yeah, and it's like, and I believe they're typically how many days are the group travel?
Well, it depends on the destination. The average is 9 to 10 days, including flights. Of course, if you're going further to Africa and African safari or Australia, New Zealand, it could be as long as 20 to 24 days. Domestic tours here in the States might be 5 to 7 days.
And then, so part of what you provide for your clients, the people who hire you, is so you're booking it sounds like you're booking the air or the travel to get
All
to the
the details.
destination, perhaps a car service, how they get picked up and taken to where they stay. And what are the other details that are part of that itinerary typically?
So from the beginning, the providing information, finding out where a client wants to go, then giving them the booking details. Do they need a visa? Do they need a passport? Going through all those
Hmm.
important facts that needed to come in. And then once a tour is ready to depart, then making sure all the pieces are in place. So that's the air. The once you arrive on tour, being picked up from the airport, taken to the hotel arrangements throughout the tour, the meals, the sights and attractions, tickets, everything that is included in that particular itinerary, making sure that goes off without a hitch. As well, there's a dedicated tour manager for each tour, a person who is part concierge, part fact finder, making sure everything runs smoothly for the group. And a tour manager isn't someone who is a drill sergeant and make sure, everything's so regimented. Yes, there is that component to it, but they're also there to give you information, suggestions. It's your anniversary. It's something special is going on. What's a nice place to go here? What's the easiest way to get around? Is it the public transportation, or would an Uber be better suited for that free time? All the way through to the end, where you are taken from the hotel to the airport, and then following up when you get back, making sure things went well, what went well, and if there were any glitches, what were they, and how can we improve that in the future?
That is amazing. And so, and I know when we used a similar type of service when we were in Greece, because we traveled throughout Greece. And when we went, some of it I did myself, and then some of it I had somebody else do, like trip planning and private tours. We had private tours set up for us instead of group tours, because my husband and I, we like to do
Right.
some that are completely private, just the two of us.
Sure.
And the company also booked our transportation, like between the not the countries, but like between the countries within Greece. We went from
Right.
Santorini, to Athens and back. And when there were changes to the transportation itself,
Mm-hmm.
that was the beauty of having a travel concierge, is they dealt with it, they fixed it, and were like, I've already handled it, which is great when you're not used to things like that, especially if you're in another country. That's why I think traveling to other countries always gives me a little extra agita, because I don't know the area at all.
Right.
So how did you get started
Well,
offering?
it was quite by accident. I was teaching and left teaching to do consulting, and that was during the recession in 2008. So there wasn't a lot of consulting. Had somebody from another company who offered motor coach tours along with a little bit of air tours. So started there in August of 2010. Kind of took over the air tour program, trips that fly to trips. And by October of 2010, I was in London and Paris. So I never looked back. And it has just grown. The popularity has grown, especially coming off the pandemic. People who have booked things pre-pandemic lost a lot of money, didn't have insurance. That's another component of what I do is providing that through our tours. Uh, but people got to the point, doing this on my own, there's so many details, and making sure your investment is secure, and just being able to rely on somebody, as you mentioned, all of those details, all of those changes. If one aspect, your plane arrives an hour late, you want to make sure your transfer's still there, that type of thing. So I got into it. I loved it. I like working with a team who can take care of all of those details, and along with Tourcy myself, I have an air team to support me in that way. So it's just perfect for myself. That's why I enjoy it so much, and for people who do get anxiety by looking at all the options out there.
So I'm just like curious, because I'm going to say a regular, personal concierge who offers like personal assistant services. I always kept a spreadsheet of different preferred vendors that I would use for, say, the electrician, the
Right.
handyman. How many vendors do you have?
Well, there's quite a few. And there's, just as you mentioned, vendors for different things. Within group travel, there are, depending what a client wants, do they want a smaller group? Do they want to experience the most while they're there? Or are they mostly concerned about price and insurance and security? I'd say 10 really solid partners that I work with the majority of tours. But there, even if it's not through Tourcy, just looking at guided group tour companies, there are so many out there that it's you can always check on their reputation. You can kind of look and find out if they have a good reputation, and looking at the comments from people who've returned from their tours. So there's a limited number of spaces on each tour. So in that reason being to accommodate those types of things. If it's a location that's hard to get tickets, well, then it's going to be a smaller group to do that. If you're wanting to stay, if the experience is going to be more of a bed and breakfast and more of a smaller venue, you've got to accommodate that as opposed to a regular hotel. So there's just so many details that go into what is the best planning. There are people on the ground looking at hotels, looking at those venues. And
Yes.
for instance, if we included that particular attraction that you were wanting to go and that had happened, we would not be using that vendor any longer. So
Right.
a lot of vetting, that's what's nice. We're doing the vetting for the
Yeah.
hotels and the sites. And if there were a situation, say we would not have a situation where we wouldn't have enough tickets for people, but if there was a situation that, whether something of that nature happened, we would accommodate another activity. We wouldn't say, oh, too bad, that's not happening. We would make sure that you are getting what you paid for, the experiences that you want to have when you're in a destination.
And who would you say are typically like your ideal clients?
Typically, the majority of our travelers are 50 plus. They're close to retirement, or they have the free time to do it. And they also have the budget to go to the different destinations. So what we offer are good, solid tours for a good value, uh, more into the 4 to 5 to luxury star level products as opposed to cost saver or budget or economy tours. There's plenty of them out there. But what I have found that they're less expensive because they don't include as much. And then when you get there, you're having to pay for that anyway, because
Everything anyway, yeah.
right. So, but typically the 50 plus traveler, although it is trending younger, I know we want to forget the pandemic and see it in the rearview mirror, but a lot of people who did that, younger people, that 30 to 50 market, they're now looking at guided tours because they did the same thing. Oh, it's so easy to go in here. Oh, look, I can click this and I can do that. But then it all collapsed on them. So now they're coming to the realization, having somebody take care of that from the beginning to the end is so much, it's stress free.
Yeah.
And that's really important these days. People are looking for, yeah, it's easy to go online and click, but there's that stress level of knowing that you have somebody in your corner, making sure all those details come together.
How could others, so for example, when we started this conversation, I was explaining how when I was offering, full service, concierge services, travel was not one of them. Because again, for this level of detail and because
Right.
I know I'm so overwhelmed by the process doing it for myself and then trying to do that for somebody else. It's like, it's a non-negotiable for me. I am not doing that for
Sure.
other people. So how could other concierges just in general who are in the industry team up with you for perhaps their clients? Maybe they have clients that are wanting to book more luxurious travel or more specific group itineraries and so forth.
Sure. So it would just be a matter of contacting Torsey and contacting myself and looking at what it is that you're looking for, that they're looking for their clients.
Mhm.
Uh, especially if it's something a trip to Morocco, an African safari. Those aren't things that you typically, there's a lot of unknown factors there.
Mhm.
So if their clients are looking for more of that type of experience, talking with someone like myself who knows those itineraries and the visas and all of those details, as opposed to reaching out locally to somebody, a travel agent that specializes in group tours. So there within travel agencies, you have a regular travel agent who's booking individual things, but they also, many of the companies will have a guided group specific area that you could talk to them there to get more specific on the group aspect of it.
From businesswoman to businesswoman out there, what's one piece of advice you would give her?
Stay flexible. Things ebb and flow. Things will come in strong and then things will slow down. Just keep your head down and keep at it. And those who persevere through difficult times, once those difficult times are over, whether, in the case of the pandemic or a recession. So travel was hit hard, but those people who really just maintained and tried to rebook people instead of saying, oh my goodness, this is just too hard. So just stick with it, stay with it. I know there's a point where you have to say, maybe this isn't right, but just kind of hang in there.
Thank you again so much for being here with me today. And friends, I am going to put Tracy's information down below in the description of this video. If you know anyone or have any clients who want to have a group travel booked out or travel with itineraries that's from soup to nuts and completely taken care of for you at the highest level, be sure to reach out to Tracy and her team. All right, friends, bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.